Hello and welcome to a peculiar journey through time, where history meets a slightly tipsy storyteller. Tonight, we're diving into the extraordinary life of Alexander Hamilton, one of America's most fascinating founding fathers. His story has captured the imagination of millions, especially after Lin-Manuel Miranda transformed his life into a Broadway sensation. But behind the catchy tunes and theatrical drama lies a real man, whose life was filled with more twists and turns than any fictional character could possess. Hamilton's rise from Caribbean obscurity to becoming Washington's right-hand man and America's first Treasury Secretary is nothing short of remarkable. His brilliant mind and relentless ambition propelled him to heights that seemed impossible for someone of his humble beginnings. So sit back, relax, and let me take you through the highs and lows of Alexander Hamilton's life as we explore the man behind the legend. Imagine a tropical island in the Caribbean, with palm trees swaying in the warm breeze and waves crashing against sandy shores. This picturesque setting of Nevis is where our story begins, around January 11th, 1755, or possibly 1757. Even Hamilton himself seemed uncertain about his exact birth year. Born to Rachel Fawcett and James Hamilton, young Alexander's early life was far from idyllic. His father abandoned the family when Alexander was just a child, leaving his mother to raise him and his brother James Jr. in dire poverty. Then tragedy struck again when Alexander's mother died from fever in 1768, leaving the young boy effectively orphaned at the tender age of 13. Despite these hardships, Hamilton showed extraordinary intelligence and determination from an early age. Working as a clerk at a trading company in St. Croix, he impressed his employers with his remarkable abilities in mathematics and writing. His talent was so evident that a group of local businessmen pooled their resources to send this promising young man to North America for proper education. Hamilton arrived in New York in 1772, a time of growing tension between the American colonies and Great Britain. After completing preparatory studies, he enrolled at King's College, now known as Columbia University. His sharp intellect and political awareness quickly drew him into the revolutionary fervor sweeping through the colonies. While still a student, Hamilton began writing political essays defending the Patriot cause, displaying a maturity and understanding that belied his young age. When war broke out in 1775, Hamilton didn't hesitate to join the fight for independence. He joined a volunteer militia company called the Hearts of Oak, where his natural leadership abilities and strategic mind soon became apparent. But it wasn't just on the battlefield where Hamilton made his mark during these formative years. His writings caught the attention of influential revolutionaries, establishing him as a thoughtful voice for independence long before he would become known for his governmental policies. The American Revolution would prove to be Hamilton's first major stage, transforming him from an ambitious immigrant into a trusted confidant of General George Washington. After distinguishing himself in early battles, Hamilton was invited to join Washington's staff as an aide-de-camp in 1777, with the rank of lieutenant colonel. This position placed the young man at the center of the revolutionary effort, where he drafted critical correspondence for the general and gained invaluable exposure to military strategy and leadership. Though Hamilton thrived in this role, he longed for battlefield glory and repeatedly requested a field command. Washington, recognizing Hamilton's value as an administrative genius, was reluctant to grant this wish. This created tension between the two men, though their mutual respect never wavered. Finally, in 1781, Hamilton got his chance at combat leadership during the decisive Yorktown campaign, where he led a successful infantry charge against a British redoubt, helping secure American victory in the Revolutionary War. After the war, Hamilton returned to New York, where he quickly established himself as a prominent lawyer and continued his political involvement. He served in the Congress of the Confederation and became increasingly concerned about the weakness of the central government under the Articles of Confederation. When delegates gathered in Philadelphia in 1787 to address these weaknesses, Hamilton was among them, advocating for a strong federal government. Though his views were considered too extreme by many, Hamilton contributed significantly to the Constitutional Convention debates. Once the Constitution was drafted, Hamilton became its passionate defender, collaborating with James Madison and John Jay to write the Federalist Papers, a series of essays explaining and advocating for the ratification of the Constitution. These writings remain among the most important American political documents, revealing Hamilton's vision for a united America with a robust central government capable of competing on the world stage. When George Washington became the first president of the United States in 1789, he appointed Hamilton as the first Secretary of the Treasury, a position that would allow Hamilton to implement his ambitious vision for America's economic future. Facing a nation drowning in war debt with no established financial system, Hamilton devised an ingenious, though controversial plan. He proposed that the federal government assume all state debts, establish a national bank, and implement protective tariffs to encourage American manufacturing. His financial system was met with fierce opposition, particularly from Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, who feared it would give too much power to the federal government and favor Northern commercial interests over Southern agricultural ones. Despite this resistance, Hamilton successfully implemented much of his program, creating the foundation for American capitalism and establishing credit that would enable the young nation's growth. Hamilton's influence extended far beyond economic matters, as he became a key advisor to Washington on virtually all aspects of governance. He helped shape American foreign policy during a dangerous period when revolutionary France and Great Britain were at war, advocating for neutrality despite popular support for France. Within Washington's cabinet, a bitter rivalry developed between Hamilton and Jefferson, representing fundamentally different visions for America's future. These tensions eventually led to the formation of the first political parties in American history, Hamilton's Federalists and Jefferson's Democratic Republicans. Even after leaving government service in 1795 to return to his law practice, Hamilton remained politically active, writing frequently and wielding considerable influence within the Federalist Party. His relationship with Washington remained strong, and he helped draft Washington's famous farewell address, which warned against the dangers of excessive party spirit and entanglements in foreign affairs. Hamilton's political battles eventually took a deeply personal turn, particularly in his long-standing feud with Aaron Burr. The two men had been rivals for years, but their antagonism intensified when Hamilton helped thwart Burr's presidential ambitions in the election of 1800 and later opposed Burr's run for governor of New York. The tension reached its breaking point when Burr, feeling his honor had been insulted by comments Hamilton allegedly made at a dinner party, challenged Hamilton to a duel. On July 11, 1804, the two men met at Weehawken, New Jersey, where Burr fatally wounded Hamilton. In his final hours, Hamilton received communion from Episcopal Bishop Benjamin Moore, despite having shown little interest in organized religion throughout his adult life. Alexander Hamilton died the following day, July 12th, surrounded by his devastated family, leaving behind his wife Elizabeth and 7 children. His death at just 47 or 49 years of age cut short a brilliant career that had fundamentally shaped the young American Republic. Hamilton's legacy is complex and far-reaching, with historians continually reassessing his contributions to American government and society. His vision of a strong federal government with sound financial footing eventually prevailed, though he didn't live to see it fully realized. As the architect of America's financial system, Hamilton established institutions and principles that continue to guide American economic policy. The Bank of the United States, though eventually disbanded, set the precedent for the modern Federal Reserve. His report on manufactures laid the groundwork for American industrial development, anticipating the country's eventual emergence as an economic superpower. Beyond economics, Hamilton helped establish crucial precedents for executive power and constitutional interpretation that shaped the growth of American government. His influence can be seen in everything from the power of judicial review to the doctrine of implied powers, concepts that allow the Constitution to remain relevant in changing times. In recent years, Hamilton's popularity has surged dramatically, largely thanks to Lin-Manuel Miranda's groundbreaking musical Hamilton, which introduced this founding father to new generations. The musical humanizes Hamilton, highlighting both his brilliance and his flaws, while emphasizing his immigrant background and tremendous ambition. This renewed interest has led many Americans to reconsider Hamilton's contributions and the ongoing relevance of his ideas. Today, his face adorns the $10 bill, and monuments to him stand in cities across America. Perhaps the most fitting tribute, however, is the continuing influence of his ideas on American governance and finance. Hamilton once wrote that, "A nation which can prefer disgrace to danger is prepared for a master and deserves one." This sentiment reflects his lifelong commitment to building a strong, independent America capable of securing its own destiny. While certainly not without controversy or personal failings, Alexander Hamilton's vision, brilliance, and determination helped lay the foundation for American prosperity and power that would unfold in the centuries after his untimely death.